After reading this book, yeah, it's going to stay with me for a long, long time. Now, let me ask you this. Is it possible to be haunted by a book? What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. You're with Chris, and today I'll be reviewing Flowers in the Attic by Virginia Andrews, published way back in 1979. This is the first book in the Dollanganger family saga. Now, it had been on my bucket list for years, and recently I thought it was finally time to pick this thing up. Now, looking at other reviews and reactions across booktube and Goodreads, it was pretty obvious to me that this book has a very divisive readership, and over the years people have either loved it or hated it or have been on the fence. Now, if you're expecting a happy ending with this book, I've got disappointing news for you. Alright, now it's a shame that Andrews died in 1986 because her writing career had barely begun, and she definitely left her mark on the world with this book because it has never been out of print, which is a really, really good milestone for an author who developed a reputation for spinning together a good yarn. Okay, for those that haven't read this, I will read the cover blurb for you with what the book is about. Chris, Kathy, Corey and Carrie have perfect lives until a tragic accident changes everything. Now they must wait, hidden from view in their grandparents' attic, as their mother tries to figure out what to do next. But as days turn into weeks and weeks into months, the siblings endure unspeakable horrors and face the terrifying realization that they might not be let out of the attic after all. Okay, so going into this book, I had an idea of what might happen in the novel, but because I saw the original adaptation from 1987, I remember it vividly, and I remember it scaring the shit out of me as a kid. But as I progressed through the book, I found that various events were omitted, especially with some of the subject matter, because the movie, I believe, got an M rating, and the book is so much darker than the movie with that subject matter that people don't think or talk about or voice their opinions on. But at times I found some parts very difficult to read, and in particular the growing complicated forbidden intimacy and attraction between Christopher and Kathy as they enter adolescence, and being shut off from the outside world, it's a recipe for disaster. And after being locked up for so long, things happen that can never be reversed, and that type of subject matter is very, very difficult to read, and it was for me. However, there are positives with this book, and I've got to talk about the writing. It was very, very good and very, very strong. It was easy to lose myself in the story because the style that Virginia uses is very hypnotic and draws you in, and I think the point of view from Kathy's perspective worked very well for the novel because we bear witness to all her secrets, her innermost thoughts and desires and fears. And I thought the characters were quite well developed, really, because especially the downfall of Corinne, the mother, with what she does in this book. She starts off as a sweet, caring, loving mother and wife, and over the course of the book her character just goes downhill in your view. And I think it's a very, very good example of how a character evolves or doesn't evolve over time and just continues to sink deeper and deeper and deeper into your negative perspective on her. And I think one of the strongest characters in the book was the grandmother. She is bad and scary as well. If you think the grandmother in the 1987 movie was bad, this is a lot worse. Things can't get any worse with this character. But I think how Andrews unspooled the plot methodically was very, very clever, especially how with the revelations that are revealed towards the end of the book as to why Corinne never came back for her children is absolutely heartbreaking, and it left me reeling. And the fact that the reasons why she never came back for the children in relation to the web of lies and deceit that surrounded the grandfather dying, and she was due to inherit everything. The truth at the heart of the matter is very, very terrifying, and you'll hate the character by the end of the book, trust me. How the siblings get out of the room is very, very smart, and how they were able to creep around was very, very intense, because there's that fear of getting caught, and how they actually managed to pull off getting out of the room is very, very smart, which I won't reveal here, but I thought it was very, very clever, and it was very, very satisfying. But at the same time, it was really nail-biting as well, because as you know, if you watch any movies where there's intense scenes, it's like, oh, don't get caught, don't get caught. That held me enthralled throughout those scenes. It was quite frightening, because at any time someone might come walking around the corner and catch them in the act of what they were doing. So I thought that was pretty smart. At the end of the book, even though the kids escape, which is great, the ending is disappointing. I wanted the grandmother to cop a smack in the head with her own whipping stick, or push down a flight of stairs would have done the job. But I also wanted Corinne, the mother, to pay for what she did, because the acts she committed were despicable in the novel. And you know, I was left hanging at the end. There was no real closure for me. Obviously the kids left the property, Foxworth Manor, but there was no resolution with Corinne answering for her actions, and I wanted her to pay as well, and I didn't get that. So there was a bit of a lack of closure there for me. So that part was a little bit disappointing, because throughout the book there was a fair bit of build-up, and I was expecting Corinne to pay for her actions, but was disappointed that that did not happen. And in the 1987 movie, she does get it, as people know if they've actually seen it. But one event with one of the twins in the novel actually shook me to my core. It really shook me up. It was heartbreaking, and I did get a bit emotional during those scenes, because it was absolutely gut-wrenching and cruel, and just not fair. So I won't dwell on that too much. The emotions I experienced in this book there was a lot. I feel like I went to emotional hell and back with this book. You know, I felt disgust, anger, sadness, sympathy, fear, relief, guilt, frustration, and compassion. Now, overall, look, was it an enjoyable book? No, but it was engaging, and I just had to find out what happens as quick as I can. The pages turn themselves, and that is attributable to Virginia's really, really good writing style that just gets you engaged, and you just can't help but turn the pages to see what happens. But it affected me in a lot of ways, and this book is going to resonate with me for a very, very long time, but not necessarily in a good way. More like it'll haunt me for years and years, and I'm not sure whether I'll continue with the series or not. I did have a gander at what the other books were about, and I was especially interested in any revenge that could be committed against Corinne, and the nature of that revenge, from what I read with little snippets and things like that, didn't really work for me. Am I going to feel the same emotions and thoughts and reactions that I did with this book? Who knows, but I'm not in a rush. I feel I need to get over this book because it was a bit of an experience, and a harrowing experience. It's not like I put the book down and thought that was absolutely amazing, because you know, it wasn't amazing. It was confronting and evoked a lot of reactions from me, but you know, it wouldn't go on my top 10 list, let me put it that way, because it was just an experience. And now that I've experienced it, and I'm glad I have, because I wanted to find out what the book was all about, and how it was different to the movie. And yeah, was a little bit disappointing with that ending, I have to say. But I'm going to be sitting down with my wife this weekend. We're going to sit down and watch the 2014 adaptation. I think the actress that played the grandmother in the 1987 movie, what was her name? Louise Fletcher. She was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I'm yet to see. And just going off track a little bit with that book, the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I actually enjoyed that book, and my nickname for Nurse Ratched, who she played in the movie, I called her Nurse Ratched, which was funny. But I think the actress that plays the grandmother in the 2014 adaptation, from what I've seen from trailers and things like that, and sample scenes of the movie, I think she's totally next level from Louise Fletcher. She looks evil, and I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also scared as well, because I still feel the 1987 one, because as an impressionable kid in 1987, it had a profound effect on me. And yeah, I haven't really watched it since. I might have watched it once since then, a long time ago, so maybe I need to catch it again. Alright, so that is it for my review of Flowers in the Attic. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've read the book, drop me a line and let's compare notes. Now, just before I go, I did actually watch MJ's review of Flowers in the Attic just yesterday, in fact, and quite enjoyed that, because she gave a very candid, honest opinion of the book, which I really respect, because I think the book is different for everyone. You're either going to love it or hate it, or you might be somewhere in between. But I thought, being a male, not many males have actually reviewed the book. There have been a few on booktube, and I thought I'll put my own thoughts about it out there, which it affected me differently than other people, and it's just interesting how it evokes a lot of reactions, different types of reactions from different people. So thanks, MJ, for your video and honest take on it. I got a lot out of that, and yeah. But until the next video, guys, happy reading.